Yo, what's going on, Blackish fam? I hope all is well in your corner of the world. Man, I really liked some music I got into yesterday. It was Aesop Rock. Never really heard of the cat. Man, the music was very hard to interpret, but it was fun, right? I love the challenge. I love the trivia. So I wanted to check out something else of his. Now, this is something that's a bit older. It looks like it came out in 2016. It's called Kirby. So just the first one came across. I got two lined up here that we're going to get into. But yo, let's check it out together. Got a puppet. Kirby, his cat. Now this is very different. It looks like Kirby might actually be his cat, but let's let it ride a bit here. Kirby, what you doing there?
Hobgoblin, shots of hot swatching. Backseat queen, D church socks hostage. 9 weeks awesome, hides in a slipper. Look in her eye like she might be a wizard. Cold met a cat lady in a parking lot. She
It doesn't sound like it's as there's as much wordplay in this one. But I didn't hear the beginning. I was so worried. Like, is that a puppet? Like, where are they? What are they doing? Trying to understand what's going on. But let's jump right into it here.
What you doing, Kirby? What you doing there? Hey, Kirby. What you doing, Kirby? What you doing?
Look at his shoes.
Hobgoblin, shots of hot swatching. Backseat queen, D church socks hostage. 9 weeks awesome.
Did he say hobgoblin? And I think he said sriracha, but he said that weird. Let's.
Hobgoblin, shots of hot swatching.
Hobgoblin. It's so weird to reference, right? Now, a lot of people probably default to thinking of Spider-Man, but there's another. If you think of a hobgoblin, it used to be considered more of a spirit, right? A household spirit. Now, this is typically in folklore, which would make sense based on the other references from the last song that we heard, Mystery Fish. But with hobgoblins, they were a little bit different. They're in folklore. They're considered helpful, but a lot of people would consider them mischievous, right? It kind of reminds me of, like ever since, really since Christianity, these are some that it looks like they're being helpful, but they're just kind of playing with being helpful, with being mischievous. Like if you know of genies or jinns, right? They're really popular. Again, it's like pre-1900s folklore, but they're also mainly evil, right? A lot of kids see genies and they're like, well, you got to rub it, and you get 3 wishes. Well, they've been sealed for a reason, right? They're sealed away, locked away for a reason, because given the chance, they're so powerful and they want to do really nasty things to humanity. Now, even the ones that aren't necessarily evil, they tend to be tricksters, right? They have little concern with, it's more of a joke. Like, for instance, if someone says, I want to have a huge penis, right? All of a sudden you have this like 6-foot long penis, elephantism, right? Is it elephantitis or elephantism? Right? So they're just absurd with it. Like you might say, okay, my first wish is I wish for $10 million. And all of a sudden this money appears, is all in your house. But then all of a sudden the ATF and the FBI are banging on your door. Boom, 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 boom. Open up. We know you're in there. And you're like, what? And now all of a sudden you realize it's from a bank robbery. It's from something. So, they're being helpful and they're granting you these wishes, but they're extremely mischievous. If you would. But that would, if this is about his cat, right? And it does seem like it's about Kirby. That would make sense, right? Hobgoblin, somebody who's they're helpful, they're loving, but they also look like they want to claw your eyes out, right?
Backseat queen, D church socks hostage. 9 weeks awesome, hides in a slipper.
But he said he was missing his socks for 9 weeks. He says vaccine queen.
What you doing?
I don't know what he meant by that, but let's.
What you doing there? Hobgoblin, shots of hot scotching. Vaccine queen, deemed church socks hostage. 9 weeks awesome, hides in a slipper.
Yeah, talking about her being mischievous, right? He said, I don't know what he got about vaccine queen, but he said church socks hostage, right? And like he hasn't been able to find them. Like she's holding them hostage. He said, yeah, 9 weeks, awesome, right? He said hides in a slipper. That could be her, or that could be her hiding his stuff.
Church socks hostage, 9 weeks awesome, hides in a slipper. Look in her eye like she might be a wizard. Called, met a cat lady in a parking lot. She got the heroes of tomorrow in a cardboard box.
Yeah, he's definitely talking about cats, right? He said you look in her eyes, she might be a wizard, right? If you ever look at a cat's eyes, there's something very regal, right? There's something it just seems like there's so much more. Like either this cat is intelligent or they're out to kill me. But he said, yo, look at her eyes. She might be a wizard, right? And then it sounds like he's getting into meeting a card lady. He's like, cold met a cat lady in a parking lot. He says she got the heroes of tomorrow in a cardboard box, right? So he's obviously cares a lot about cats.
Parking lot, she got the heroes of tomorrow
in a cardboard box.
And probably holding 40 more in the corners of Fort Knox. 20 on a...
You're holding 40 more in the corners of Fort Knox. Fort Knox is a military base, but it's a really tight, secure. Few people would go there, right? So it sounds like he's saying, yo, I met this lady and a cat lady in a parking lot who it sounds like she had free cats or was selling cats. And he's like, yo, she's probably hoarding. When someone's a hoarder, right, they get a lot of stuff that piles up at their house. He said, yo, she's probably a crazy cat lady, right? She probably got 40 more in the corners of Fort Knox. So like in the spaces that you don't really get to go to, now, right, where she's comfortable and secure, she's probably a crazy cat lady.
A cardboard box and probably hoarding 40 more in the corners of Fort Knox. Swap 20 on a spot and cop the warlock. Back at the haunt, found God in the hamper. Briefs on her head, playing looking with a panther.
Yeah, he's talking about getting this cat, right? It sounds like he might have just bought this cat for $20 from this crazy cat lady. He said, I swapped 20. I don't think he's talking about 20 cats, right? I think he just swapped a 20 on the spot, and he said, I copped the warlock. In urban culture, right? I'm just outside of Chicago. When you cop something, you cop the new mics, you cop the new Nikes, it means you buy something. So he obviously, he said he looked in her eye and she might be a wizard. Now he's talking about he copped the warlock. So the one that he thought looked like a wizard, he purchased this cat for $20.
God in the hamper, briefs on her head, playing looking with a panther. Good around misery and golden era samplers.
Yeah, it sounds like he's talking about how she plays, right? He said back at the haunt, found God in the hamper, right? So he's obviously back home with this cat, and she's playing around in his hamper. He said briefs on her head, playing look it with a panther, right? His panther, it's another version of cat, but she's obviously not a panther or a tiger or a liger, right? It sounds like he's playing around. He's got briefs on her head, right? He said good around misery, right? So when you're feeling bad, the cat comes and caresses you and it makes you feel better. So good around misery and golden era samplers. So she's probably hearing him sampling music and working, right? And she's fitting into the house.
Playing looking with a panther. Good around misery and golden era samplers. Jeopardy and wheel at the heels of her handlers. Back.
Yeah, so she's chilling with him, right? He said, yo, she's good. She's good around misery. She's good when I'm sampling music or when I'm down. But it sounds like she's also watching Jeopardy with him in Wheel of Fortunes. He's at the heels of the handlers, right? So she's just purring, going around his legs, it seems like.
Samplers, Jeopardy and wheel at the heels of her handlers. Bet, more than a bet, so worship is an MD. Recommended sense of purpose here that matter.
He's saying, it's like, bet, right? Bet is not talking about like, I got 10 on horse number 12, right? When you say bet in the urban sense, it's like for sure. Right, like, man, I'll see you at 6. I for sure bet, man. right? It's just like it's like solid. Bet I bet you'll see me there, right? Bet I'm going kind of deal. But he said bet more than a pet to worship. Like he's like, yo, bet she's sick, man. She's more than just a pet to me. Now I cherish her, I value her as family. But yeah, yo, bet, right? It sounds like that's what he's getting off. Not getting off, but that's what's coming across to me. Now, interesting. He said it's an MD recommended sense of purpose, right? An MD is a doctor, right? A medical doctor. So it sounds like somebody's recommended that he needs a pet in his life, right? It needs to give him a sense of purpose, someone else that he can take care of.
Chippers and MD recommended sense of purpose. Hear about around keys and the means to euphoria. Soon to be held the greatest of all warriors.
No, I don't hear the bat around keys. Maybe like you bat around. Okay, when you play with your keys, right? The cats love that. Like they like the laser shows, any like pulling string, right? I got two of my good friends. One is actually my nephew, loves cats, and one is one of my best friends growing up. They're just cat dudes. Got 3 cats in the house. Love them, sleep with them. The cats are everything to them. So I definitely know there's cat dudes out there. But here to bat around keys and it means to euphoria, right? A euphoric sensation. A euphoria is very happy, ecstatic, right? So bat around keys, that's the means to get them really happy. Like, what's that? What's that? Come in. You can get it, right? You're making them happy. Oh, and I love he said, soon to be held, the greatest of all warriors, right? Like he's talking about the cat, like it's again, like it's a panther or something like that. But soon to be held. That's weird because it seemed like he already got the cat. He was already at home. But maybe he's saying like soon to be held. Like I'm going to pick her up soon, pick him up soon.
Hey, Kirby, what you doing, Kirby? What you doing?
Dude, this dude's his lyrics are probably deeper than more commercial hip hop songs that are on the radio. And this is a song about a goddamn cat, and it's more lyrical than a lot of dudes' top track on their album. That says a lot about who this cat is. I'm really excited to get into some more. This is just night and day with Mystery Fish, right? I had to decipher it. It seemed like it was about someone living on the streets, right? He was struggling. He's talking about like ringworm and stuff, and it was really tough to decipher, but it was interesting. This one's about his cat, but it doesn't seem as dense. I'm looking at the wordplay, and I'm kind of waiting for that kind of trivia night. Like, all right, let's see if I can get some historical facts or some biblical facts or catch his wordplay. But this one seems pretty straightforward. It's about the love for his cat. There's definitely a lot up for interpretation, but definitely not as dense. But I really want to get into some more of his work.
Hey, Kirby, what you doing, Kirby? Why'd you eat that leaf? Yo, homie, don't fetch. Only woke stretch.
He's no dog, bro. This homie don't fetch, right? Like homie don't play that. Who knows about In Living Color, right? The clown. Was it Keaton Ivory Wayans? I think that was actually him that played it. Homie don't play that. Boom, and he hit the kids with the sock full with like a bunch of soap, like he's in prison or something, right? Run that back. He said, homie don't fetch, only woke to stretch, right? The cats do all those weird stretches. Think of a Garfield or so, right? Only eating, lounging around. He's like, he don't fetch for nothing. He's not doing anything that intricate, right?
Homie don't fetch, only woke stretch. Under a thought bubble rich with bowls of goldfish. Get us in a couple niggas.
Under a thought bubble rich. No, you're right. You don't know what he's saying. He's obviously thinking about something, but he said under a thought bubble rich with bowls of goldfish. A lot of people say cats love fish or cats will always claw at the fish. But he's talking about the cat playing, but under a thought bubble rich. That's just an interesting way to put something, because if you think of somebody that's under a thought bubble, it's normally the doop, 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 like they got an idea, but it's a thought, and it normally explains their thought. But cats are known to be thinkers, right? It's always like, is that cat going to jump on me, bro? It looks like he hates me. So maybe that's what he's referring to.
With bowls and goldfish, skittish in a company of stranger danger. Otherwise, chase drawstrings, tails, and lasers.
Yeah,
Steel cage.
said he's skittish, right? He runs off in the company of stranger danger. When there's someone he doesn't know, he's naturally skeptical, right? He's skittish. But he said otherwise, he just chases strings, tails, and lasers, right? With typical cat behavior.
Chase drawstrings, tails, and lasers. In a steel cage match with a maze of cables. Brazen, game face based on a Aesop. Oversized ears up, puke in the meow mix. Shred a pair of earbuds, remedy is cowlick. Like a Billy, keep an old man sharp, keep a cold chantilly. Spun plum dizzy in a frisky moment, never lands on her feet, though I think she's broken. Mouse are in training, nap on the toaster, decorator cubicle like dogs playing poker. 15 years taking prescriptions, now it's shrimp. All rich with bowls and goldfish. Skittish in a company of stranger danger. Otherwise, chase drawstrings, tails, and lasers. In a steel cage match with a maze of cables. Brazen, game.
Dude, cats, I guess cats can have cages. I normally don't think of it. I've never owned a cat myself. I'm more of a puppy or dog person, even though I don't have a dog either now. But I don't normally think of cages, but a steel cage match with a maze of cables. So it almost seems like he's referring to not the cage of some sort, but he said a steel cage match. It makes me think of like a UFC fighter or like a WWE, something that's like a cage match. But he's in a cage match with a maze of cables. So it almost seems like he's going at it with the cables. I don't know if he's necessarily referring to a literal cage. I think he's more talking about he's getting into it. It looks like he's fighting, but he's fighting with a bunch of cables. I think that's a better way to break that down. Azazel is a demon, right? Azazel, if I'm not mistaken, that's a demon or an evil spirit. It's like a yellow-eyed demon, which would make sense looking at his yellow eyes. Yo, cats do look crazy sometimes. So it sounds like this is a spoiled cat, right? He's having fun. He said he'll puke. When it comes to Meow Mix, he doesn't eat that garbage. He eats something better, right? He shredded up a pair of earbuds. He's got a little cowlick, or he's got some sort of toy, right? Chantilly. That's a weird way to say something there. I almost thought of what do they call a bear? Cold shandy. Right? Like a, what is it, Lugenheiger? I was thinking about that, but Chantilly, I guess it could be a beer, but what I think of is sweetened whipped cream, right? When you have whipped cream that's been infused with like vanilla, it's like flavored whipped cream for on your coffee or your cappuccino. That I know is called a Chantilly, but it doesn't sound like that's the reference. And he said, keep a cold Chantilly. I wonder if he's talking about a cold shandy. So that would be weird. He said, keep an old man sharp. He said, thanks, Curbs. Looks like a millie. Looking like a millie, right? You're looking like $1 million, right? You're looking smooth. You got your little cow lick. You licked yourself up. You're doing well. Let me know if you think you can help break down keep a cold Chantilly. Because I don't think he's talking about sweetened whipped cream. I guess he could. Right? Cats, they say they like cream. Right? You put a cold milk out or cream. So yeah, that could be the play. Like I put out some cream with vanilla for the cat. It might not be talking about himself, but still talking about. They say cats always land on their feet, right? And they're known to be frisky. But he said spun plum dizzy in a frisky moment. That's just another way to describe a cat, right? Like landing on their feet, being frisky. He said, I think she's broken, right? She never lands on her feet, though. Yeah, mouse are in training, right? The cats are known to go after mice. Napping on the toaster. Cats will sleep in the weirdest places. They'll curl up in a shoebox or a bucket or on top of your toaster or somewhere warm. I've definitely seen that before.
Training, nap in a toaster, decorator, playing poker. 15 years taking prescriptions, now a shrink like, I don't know, maybe get a kitten.
Yeah, definitely back to what he said about being MD recommended, right? Maybe he wasn't talking about a medical doctor. Maybe it's a medical doctor and a psychotherapist or a psychologist, right? He's saying, because that's what a shrink is. He said, now a shrink's like, I don't know, maybe get a kitten. Like, yo, you got problems. You need someone to talk to. You need someone to take care of. It sounds like that would be the reference. Kirby. Kirby. What you doing? Hey, Kirby. What you doing, Kirby? What you doing there? Yo, looks like that's it. Biggie kidding. Man, I'm so excited to get into some of his other work. That is just such an extreme. It's so night and day compared to what we listened to last time. But yo, if you're a fan of Aesop Rock, make sure you show some love by not just liking the video, but subscribing to the channel. I'm going to start getting into this cat's catalog, and we're going to see if we can decipher a lot of his lyrics and understand the context of what he's writing. So, man, keep giving me. I know a lot of people have put in comments, yo, you got to check out this song. I got it. I'm actually about to start writing them on the board, ones that we're going to get into. But let me know if there's anything specific you want me to check out. But, yo, I'm liking Aesop Rock, and I look forward to getting into his catalog, and I hope you guys are here with me.